Hello, everyone, and welcome to Godsaul's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast I run over here on YouTube.com. And this is more of a special episode of Godsaul's Turnbuckle, as this is going to be predictions for tables, ladders, and chairs. That's right, that's this upcoming Sunday. We're just off of Survivor Series no more than about 3 weeks ago, and we're already at tables, ladders, and chairs at this point in time. So let's start off with it right here and right now. You have a open challenge by the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team title. So yes, you get the Raw Tag Team Championship Open Challenge. I picked the Viking Raiders to win this one. I don't see them losing it in an open challenge on the pay-per-view. It's a little bit early for them to be losing them in an open challenge in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go with the Viking Raiders on this one. Now, as for the team that they end up facing, they fought the Street Profits before. They fought the Street Profits on Monday night through the open challenge. There is that possibility that they could be, that it could be them again. And in that case, there's a possibility that maybe the Street Profits actually take the tag team titles. I don't think it's going to be the Street Profits in this case, though. I do see it being more of the OC. There is a chance of the Usos coming back as well. At least that's how I feel like it would end up going. On that one, I feel more that it will be the OC, but there's a chance for it to be the Usos as well. But I'm going to pick the Viking Raiders to pick up the victory in this particular match, and they're going to keep the tag team titles at least for a bit longer. Up next, we have Aleister Black going up against Buddy Murphy, and I don't think there's really much to really say about this other than it's probably going to be Aleister Black going over in this particular match. I guess it's not out of the realms of possibility that they would put Buddy Murphy over in this one, but I feel like they've got something there, that they feel like they have something with Aleister Black. They haven't done much with him since he's been on the main roster to begin with, especially on the singles side. It's probably going to be Aleister Black going over in this particular case. Up next, we've got our tables match with Rusev and Bobby Lashley. That's right, this entire thing that they've been doing with Lana, Bobby Lashley, and Rusev, we haven't had a single one-on-one match. Matter of fact, I don't even think we've had a match between the two of them. It hasn't even really been a tag match or anything, with the exception of Crown Jewel. They were on opposite teams over there on that one. So we haven't actually seen them in matches all that much with that. And based off the storyline and where they're going with this, I feel like there's a lot of people that want this storyline to just end on Sunday. I don't think that's going to be the case. Rusev went over in the terms of being the person that has been over so far, in the terms of, like, for the go home show. Rusev was the one that stood over Bobby Lashley in the end. And I think Bobby Lashley's going to end out winning this match. And yes, this feud continues a little bit further along to go along with it. And I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley to take the victory in this match. Up next, we have the SmackDown Tag Team title match. It is the New Day going up against the Revival. Not much has really been built on this one, outside the fact that these guys have had matches in the past, but it had usually been with Big E and Xavier Woods. Now it's going to be Big E and Kofi Kingston going up against the Revival. I've got the New Day in this match. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily seem in a proper area to necessarily put the Revival, put those tag titles back on the Revival, unless of course they're looking for something further, or they would just rather have heels with the tag team titles. They did have a very good promo after they won last week's match, so there's always that possibility. I am filming this before SmackDown on this one, so I don't know exactly what's happening on SmackDown on there. On that side, and there's always a possibility of more matches to be announced as well. I've got the 7 that are right there as I look over at my screen to make sure everything's recording properly. And it's one of those areas that I don't know where they're necessarily going with that side of it. I'm going to go with the New Day on that one. It just seems like the best choice for this particular one. I don't know. We'll see how everything is playing out. Obviously, in the terms of match quality, more than likely, this will be a really good match because these guys put on good tag team matches. with that one, both New Day and the Revival. They put on really good tag team matches. Up next, we've got Roman Reigns going up against King Corbin. Do I really need to say more based off of where they're going with? I know SmackDown hasn't even happened yet on this one. Just much like with the tag team, the SmackDown tag team title match. SmackDown hasn't even happened tonight, but really, it just looks like a Roman Reigns bit where they're going with for a victory here, especially with what they had done last week, everything to go along with that. I'm going to go Roman Reigns on this one to beat King Corbin. Doesn't necessarily mean that this feud will end. This is a tables, ladders, and chairs match. So there is a chance that they could give King Corbin a win in some way, shape, or form based off of interference, especially with Dolph Ziggler, everything on that one. And I guess based off of last week as well, the people who carry him to the ring could interfere as well on that. Up next, we have the women's tag team title match, which is again a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It is Asuka and Kairi Sane going up against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. And much like last year, you basically are taking last year's match, you're making it a tag team match, and you're adding Kairi Sane, because you had the tables, ladders, and chairs match for the SmackDown women's title last year. That was Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Now you're adding Kairi in there. You're making it a tag team. You're making it tornado tag, and you're keeping the TLC rules to go along with it. It's definitely an interesting area. I could definitely see the WWE putting these titles on Charlotte and Becky just for the aspect of just on the aspect of star power, everything on that particular one with the two of them, but also they have that dynamic that they seem to really like with tag team titles, which is, can the tag team champions coexist type thing. And you've got that potential there, but they also have that potential for really making Kairi and Asuka in this one. And I don't think it actually hurts Becky and Charlotte to lose here. Then they can come up with some. Interesting way of them losing. That's not necessarily they both got knocked out and then Asuka and Kairi climb the ladder. They can play the mist in there into that aspect of it. They've been playing off the last couple of weeks that both Charlotte and Becky have been holding their own in a one-on-two situations, but they also haven't been using the mist in the last couple of weeks. That could probably play a factor into this portion of the match, and it probably is going to lead, at least in my own personal thoughts, will lead to Asuka and Kairi winning this match and keeping the women's tag team titles. So up next, which I don't know if this is going to main event tonight, main event the night itself. That could be either of the TLC matches that could honestly main event, but the one that I'm going to end on, which has probably the most interesting build to it, especially based off of everything from last week, because they've been building up to Daniel Bryan and The Fiend again, but now it is Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse version Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend Bray Wyatt, versus The Miz. I have Bray Wyatt going over in this match on this particular one. It doesn't necessarily make sense for them to have one version of Bray Wyatt lose and not have the other version of Bray Wyatt lose. This is not a title match, so they could technically have Miz go over, but I don't see them putting Miz over in a big match situation, especially when they wouldn't even do it with Shane McMahon earlier this year on that particular side of everything. I think the story that they told, especially with last week, was really good and how they wanted to go about it and gave purpose for the Miz going up against Bray Wyatt in this particular one. And it'll be interesting to see if Bray Wyatt comes up with a different way of having a match in his Firefly Funhouse form versus the Fiend form on that one as well. I have Bray Wyatt going over in this one. And yeah, that's pretty much all the matches that are at least set at this point in time. There's obviously a couple of other matches that could potentially happen. They have the potential for Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens match. They have the potential for either I would say it would be Sasha versus Lacey Evans. It wouldn't be Bayley versus Lacey Evans based off of the story that they've been going with right now. I would say it would be it would be Sasha versus Lacey Evans. That's a potential match. And also AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, or they could save those for other times down the line, and we just get these 7 matches and plus whatever pre-show match they decide to have afterwards to go along with it. But those are my predictions for WWE TLC. I thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy what you saw here, of course, give it a like, a comment, whatever you want to do on that one, and a subscribe to the channel. Peace out. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.